Hi, this is Nick again. Today is December 23rd, 2022. I just want to talk about my retirement plan, and of course, in order to retire, I need to have steady, good source of income. Then I need to talk about my investment in stock. Okay, today it's a kind of short day for trading. S&P 500 closed at 3,844, and it from the highest, that means the beginning of the year, it's about 4,800, so it dropped about 20%. So hopefully not all of you out there, including my friends, did not put tons of money by the beginning of the year or last couple months of last year, invest a lot of money over there. Otherwise, you are down about 20%. But there's some people losing much more if they buy single stock. It's not talking about S&P 500. For example, Amazon. Let me check. Amazon dropped like 50% at the highest of the beginning of the year. I know a person a few months ago. She said she's gonna buy Amazon at 1,800. At that time, it's about 130, 120, and I don't know whether she bought anything now. Otherwise, it's still down about 15% if she really bought at 100. Forget about Tesla, but Tesla is a darling for many retail investors. I have friends who bought Tesla, but seems like luckily they already show cut loss, or even they took profit. Who knows? But anyhow, there are a lot of so-called experts out there and say, "Wow, next year 2023 it will be a crash," and then cash is king. But I think each person's situation is different, and of course you have to look at your own portfolio or your other source of income. Say I'm plan to retire next year, maybe in April or May. I have pension, and I'm not 62 yet, so I have to wait until I get 62 and then decide whether I want to get the social security check. But then the third source of income is my investment. I don't own any property anymore. I sold it like a couple years ago. Not at the highest, but I was comfortable with the gain. Not much, but I don't want to hold and I didn't want to hold any property anymore, because when you retire, you don't want to handle with all the tenants, things like that, all the trouble. So I put all my money that I had in 2020, starting seriously invest in stock. If I put tons of money, of course now I'm in much better situation. Well, maybe not, but at that time I just testing the water. I bought a little bit here and then, so not much. And at the same time, actually, I also put some money in 401k, Roth 401k. I thought, oh yeah, why not? It's low, 2020. A couple of my friends actually say, oh, what to do, and eventually they show. I kind of warning them, don't sell when it's so low. Usually you buy low and sell high, but unfortunately some people just believe it will continue to go down and down, and they couldn't sleep, so they sold and didn't buy. Well, I don't know whether they bought back after it dropped lower, but anyhow, it's their decision. But what my strategy, actually I mentioned it to other friends too, it's not to buy like the growth stock like Amazon of this world or Tesla. They are good company for sure, but they go up, then they can go down and down and down. So how do I know when I buy it, it will continue to go up? Or it's actually I buy at the peak and then it go down and down? I don't know, because when you look at other so-called simply PE ratio, Tesla was like 100. Amazon is at this moment is 78. If you look at the PE ratio, that means you expect those companies will continue to go up and up. Otherwise, how could they have a PE ratio that high? That means they have to continue to grow, continue to make a lot of money. But of course, some people don't care. They just like gamble. They buy and hopefully it go up and then they sell. And hopefully they sell at the right time. When it turns sour and go down, and hopefully they cut loss and then decide what to do next. But my strategy is a little bit different. Mine is actually same as many other so-called conservative retire year plan. Is like buying the dividend stock. Dividend stock, no matter the stock price go up or down, this most likely will give you dividends. But of course, you don't put all your eggs in one stock. If that company not making money, they will pay you zero. Then you don't have this dividends. So my strategy is buy a tons of stocks. Some big company, some very small company. So if one or two actually not paying any dividend, I'm fine. So the portion will be not that much. So it doesn't affect my income that much. Maybe $100 or $200 less a month. Hopefully it won't I don't think it will affect my life. And then when you look at all the so-called experts say, oh, you need $1 million because you need to withdraw, you can withdraw 4%, and then you can have steady income for long time, like 25 or 30 years, assuming you retire at 60. So at that time, 2.5 years ago, I said 4%. Is it kind of low? Well, if you had $1 million, you probably well off to accumulate that $1 million asset, liquid asset, in bank, in stock, not on your property, your house. So before you retire, probably you do very, very well. But on the other hand, is there any other way that say, I don't have $1 million, I only have $500,000. If I can get 8% return on stock, on the dividend, same, I got $40,000 a year, like $3,300 a month. Pretty good money, plus all the social security and other income that you have. So is it possible? I think it's possible, at least based on my 2 years of experience. Yes, I put the money on some risky stock. The price dropped 10%, 20%. The lowest it dropped 50%. Wow. Well, same as Amazon. Better than Tesla. But they do still pay dividend. So if I get 10% of dividend a year, no matter whether it's a qualified or return of principal, whatever they give you, if you have $1,000, they give you 100 every year. That means if the price drop 10%, you break even in a year. If it's dropped 20% and you hold it for 2 years, you still break even. But look at Amazon or this world before it went up all the way to the peak at the beginning of the year. Look at 5 years ago. It's 5 years ago it's about 50 something dollars. Now it's 85. Do you think it will continue to go down and down? Or you believe it will go up and up in a few short years? We don't know. But Amazon doesn't pay any dividend. That means you are losing the opportunity to say by even saving. Saving at this moment, you can get online banking for 3.3% a year. You're losing that money if you continue to hold the stock and not selling and get the cash to do other things. So now you say, how much actually I get from my dividend? I buy and sell. But at this moment, I believe I'm comfortably get about 10% return. Of course, I have some stock at losing position. It's approximately 8%, maybe 7% of my investment, but I got about 10% dividends. So that means I'm still okay. But actually, for the past 2 years, I have gained about 15%. Just by all the, basically it's not buying and selling, the gain mostly come from dividends. For example, $100,000, I can get $10,000 a year in dividend. So let's set aside all the tax advantage or tax, people try to pay less and less tax, or I say, well, first of all, just concentrate on get the money first and worry about or consider how to save in tax. If you get 10% in return and paying 22% in tax, it's much better than getting 5% and pay 10% tax? Maybe. Yeah, that's my thinking. It may be cynical. I actually told people 10 years ago, I wish I could pay more tax. People say, you must be crazy, you are joking. But think about it. After I explained to them, it makes sense. Why? If you don't earn more money, how could you pay more tax? So currently, I pay more income tax than 10 years ago. Why? Because my salary is much higher. Why not? I keep the difference. Tax is not 100%. Tax possibly about 20%. So I still keep whatever increase in my income minus the tax. So I'm happy. So I advise other people, hey, don't worry about paying tax. Concentrate, spend time on earning more money first. So back to my 10% return. How could it be? How could you get 10%? All the big company paying 1-2 S&P 500 on average paid about 2% at the most. But actually there are some good company, whether you like it or not, okay, pay good dividend. Currently, I think Verizon pay about 7%. AT&T a little bit lower. Of course, you may not like the future of these two telecom companies. There's another thing, but they still pay money because they still have good income. And then another two companies that I own stock in is, some people say is evil. Yes, it's cigarette company. Altria and BTI, British American Tobacco. They pay about 8%. If you hold long enough, they are qualified dividend. That means that you may pay a lower tax rate. or if you don't own that much, or you don't have other much income, you may pay zero on those dividends. So is it a good thing? Yeah. Those are the big company. I don't think they will ever fail. Will they pay less dividend? Possible. But now it's 8. What about they pay 6%? I'm still good. And then there are some other company, the ETF of this world, people should consider. Why? Some ETF actually pay a very good dividend. The price may go down in last year because they owned a lot of stock in the big tech company like Google, like Amazon, Tesla. If in their portfolio, all those big company they own, in their portfolio like 5%, 6%, if those drop, of course, the price of the ETF drop. But when they continue to pay some dividends, if you buy at the right time, like currently, you get 10% or more in dividend. Your price may continue to go down. They may decrease their dividend, but you may still get like 8%, 7%. And then you can wait for the return of the big tech company, and then the price may go up. Or no, doesn't matter. They can stay low. You have an losing position, but you still get the dividends. You can still get the dividend, take it out and spend it. Another thing is also, if you don't need that money to spend or no plan, you can actually get the dividends to invest, not back to the same company. You can, but you can invest in other company you believe there's good return, especially if say whatever your position is losing 10%, but you get 10% dividend. Then you can find some other company and buy the stock at a 10% lower price than a year ago. Then you may get a higher dividend if that's the case. But you either spend it or invest it back. But some people will say, okay, I don't want to get the cash. I just reinvest it in the stock, getting stock rather than get cash. It's up to you. It's people's choice. But I would rather to take the money out and then decide to invest in others company, other stock if I choose to. But there's also a reason for that. 2 years ago, when is it again 2 years ago, I opened a Roth IRA account. Wow, sounds good, right? For retirement, no tax on gain. But then what if there's no gain? What's the good about having a Roth IRA? You say, no, cannot be. That's so true. If you open a Roth IRA in your 20s or even 30, you have many years to grow, and then your gain will not be taxed. But if you have a short period of time, at that time I probably make a mistake. I say, well, let's hold it for 5 years so that any gain I will not be taxed on the gain. But then it may not be as good as I thought. Actually, my Roth IRA actually is losing money. Can you believe it? Yeah, I can. But some of my friends also say their 401k is losing money for many years. I say, how could it be? Well, my thinking is you are putting your money in other people's hand, and then they will invest. Is it for your best interest or for their best interest? See, I have an MBA. I study finance. Not really very good, but at least I know something. But the major problem I have now, I think of all the 401k and Roth, or doesn't matter if it's you put money into it every single month. The major problem is they will deduct your contribution on the first or second of the month. What's the problem with it? The problem is when you invest in stock, you like to buy low and sell high. Well, you may hold it for a long time, but you still want to buy low. But when you have an automatic deduction from your paycheck, they deduct your money on the first or second of the month. Do you know whether it's high or no? Low. You don't know. Well, assume you have 30 years, like 360 times, that's fine. You average out. But if you don't have that many months, then I figure if I put $500 every month, I rather to decide myself whether, well, seems like I like certain stock, but on the first or second it seems high, so I don't buy. But one of them lower, like 10%, 7% on the 15. Hey, then it's a little bit lower. I like that, so I put my $500 on that particular stock on the 15. A little bit low, not a lot low, but still not avoiding the buy at the peak, just like Amazon of this world or Google of this world. They will continue to, if you put the same amount, $500 every single month to buy Amazon. You may buy a lot of stock at the peak. If you continue to buy again and again, now maybe you averaging out, I don't know, $100 a share. But now it's 85. But if you say, well, it's too high, Amazon, I won't buy it, I wait until it drop a little bit, then I buy 500. When it drop another 5%, I buy another one. Then probably when you average out, is maybe $90 instead of $100. You still losing, but at least you're not losing that much because you are in control. It's your money. You are in control. Wow. Yeah, today is quiet day. A lot of people still out there buying the last minute before Christmas shopping and all the gifts like that. So this only a very brief I would like to share with my friends out there and how I put my money. It's not in detail, but I will have another one to share with you more detail how I do it. And actually I'm doing fine. When some people ask me, hey, it's S&P job, not S&P, they didn't talk about S&P. How is your stock doing? I say, I'm fine. How much you lose? I say, no, I still gain. I mean, my current position down, but for the past 2.5 years, all the dividend or all the gain that I have, yeah, I still have like, how much? I think about 15 to 17% gain on my investment on average. So I'm still doing fine. But now, just before I end, although a lot of people say it will crash next year, but don't know when. A lot of people just wait, but I don't. I will continue starting now, a couple of weeks ago, little by little, some more, to search for the dividend stock, and each month I will buy and buy and buy for the next maybe 3 or 4 months to get back to my position at the beginning of the year. I actually sold half, believe it or not. At the peak, like the beginning of the year, I sold some, and then in August, and I sold almost half of my, or 40% or half of my holding. Now I'm starting to increase my position. All right, that's all for today. Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday.